We are counting down the highest sports magazine sales from September 2024. Let's do it. All right, let's start off with some honorable mentions that just missed out on the top 10. We're going to start off with this 1989 Sports Illustrated cover. That is Michael Jordan. It's the Raging Bull cover. This is a CGC 9.4 newsstand copy, and this one sold on Golden Auctions for $1,065. From 1981, this was the premier issue for Thrasher magazine. Of course, skateboarding magazine, definitely the most well-known and most popular publication for skateboarding. And this issue number one sold raw on eBay for $1,100. Always loved the early Babe Ruth covers, and this is Ruth on Who's Who in Baseball from 1921. This one is raw, ungraded, and it sold on eBay for $1,150. Check out this newsstand lot of 64 Michael Jordan magazine covers that sold on eBay for $1,200. Yes, that's right. These are all newsstands. And you can see there's actually some decent issues in here. Of course, Michael Jordan's been on 50 different Sports Illustrated covers. I can see the Sportsman of the Year with the hologram from 1991. You can see some of his late 80s covers on here. There's some Sports Illustrated for kids. You can see some of his Wizards covers. There's the baseball cover. A pretty good variety. Probably could definitely get your money back if you were to break up this lot here for $1,200 on eBay. And again, Michael Jordan, of course, this is his first pro cover from 1984. And this is a newsstand copy that again sold raw on eBay. Look at this. We got three consecutive ungraded magazines all selling for over $1,000. And this one went on eBay for 1,250 bucks. From 1946, this is the premier issue for Sport magazine, the most popular alternative for a long time of Sports Illustrated. And that is Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper on the cover. It's actually his son, I believe Joe DiMaggio Jr., also on the cover with him. This is a CGC 6.0 newsstand copy. It's sold on eBay for $1,397. From 2024, let's not get too political, but this is a pretty iconic photo here. You got Donald Trump on the cover of Time magazine after getting shot, and this is a CGC 9.8 copy. This one sold with lots of bids in auction on eBay for $1,136. From 1938, Time magazine again, and this one is Albert Einstein. This is not his first Time cover, but this one does have an autograph from Albert Einstein. It's been authenticated by Premier Authentication. This one, as you can see, was in a frame. It's also got some pinholes there on the spine. But this one sold on eBay for $1,699. Again with the Time magazine, and this one's from 1999, and we got Pokemon. This is an early Pokemon cover. This is the Australian edition. And, I used to be big into Pokemon. Had the blue version, collected all 150. So I recognize a few of these. You got, of course, Pikachu. There's Blastoise. There's Charizard. I can't remember the big one's name in the middle. That might be like a Psyduck on the bottom. I think that's Mewtwo on the right. So yeah, I still got a little bit of Pokemon knowledge. This is a CGC 9.4 and it sold on Golden Auctions for $2,769. From 2009, this is the first Rolling Stone cover for Taylor Swift. Pretty collectible cover here. Of course, Rolling Stone, for the majority of their publication, is oversized and cannot currently be graded by the CGC dimension standards, but they did have a little stretch there from circa 2008 through I think 2018, something like that, where they had traditional magazine size, and this Taylor Swift first cover falls in that window. This one's been autographed by T Swift, and it's been slabbed and authenticated by Beckett, and this one sold on eBay for $3,000. One of the most popular non-sports magazines, this is issue number one of Nintendo Power from 1988. Of course, a 9.8 copy of this one sold for over $100,000 a couple years ago. This is a 9.0 copy and it sold on eBay for $8,000. And again, this same issue, but this time graded at a CGC 9.4. This one sold for a very strong price of $17,500. All right, drum roll, please. Let's roll right into the top 10, and we are going to start off with number 10. This is Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on the cover of Sports Illustrated in 2018. Of course, not the first cover for Mike Trout, but this is the first Sports Illustrated cover for Shohei Ohtani. He is most likely going to win the MVP award again. He is already showing out in the playoffs for the Dodgers. This one's been autographed by both of these likely to be future Hall of Famers. Very nice issue here, and it sold raw on eBay for $1,500. There was not a certificate of authenticity, which is probably what held this sale back even more. If it had been authenticated by one of the big players, I think this one probably would have went for even higher. Coming in at number 9, this is Beckett Basketball Card Monthly Magazine. It's 1999, and you've got Michael Jordan on the cover in his All-Star Game jersey. You got some other guys on there, Hakeem Olajuwon, that's Karl Malone. Can't tell exactly who that is in the bottom right. I see Dan Marley in the background. Also catch a little bit of John Stockton there on the bottom left. But this one's been autographed by Mike. Of course, he's never an easy signature. Authenticated by JSA, and it sold raw on eBay for $1,530. Coming in at number 8, absolutely iconic, awesome cover issue here. This is one of my favorite non-Sports Illustrated covers. It's Street and Smith's basketball, college pro and prep basketball. It's from 1986. Got MJ on the cover, and he's rocking his classic Air Jordans. And this one has been autographed by Michael Jordan. This is an absolute beauty right here. It did have a certificate of authenticity, although it wasn't one of the big recognizable names. And this one sold on eBay for $1,641.55. Coming in at number 7, shout out to the game program world. This is the game program for Super Bowl number 1 from 1967. That was the Packers versus the Chiefs, of course, with the Packers led by Bart Starr coming out on top over the Lynn Dawson-led Kansas City Chiefs. This is a CGC 7.5 copy, and it sold on eBay for $1,750. There have been 76 copies of this program graded, and at the 7.5 level, this is a Pop 13 with 23 copies graded higher. Coming in at number 6, my subscription lovers are going to be thrilled about this. Check out this beautiful 9.8 copy of the Dream Team issue from 1991. Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. You got the subscription label still stuck right there. What's that say? Arla Page. Shout out Arla Page living in Idaho. Looks like this is an Idaho address. I'll tell you what, folks, it is very rare to have a subscription copy graded at 9.8. And you can actually see in the bottom, this issue's been graded 80 times as a newsstand. It's been graded 73 times as a subscription, and this is the only 9.8 out of either the subscriptions or the newsstands. There's never been another 9.8 of this issue graded, and this one sold on eBay for $2,000. At number 5, another Michael Jordan. This is his second Sports Illustrated cover from 1984, after North Carolina, before the Chicago Bulls, rocking for Team USA and the Los Angeles Olympics. And this is a CGC 8.0 newsstand copy. This one sold on Golden Auctions for $2,818. There have been 66 newsstand copies of this issue graded, and at the 8.0 level, it's a Pop 5 with 28 copies graded higher. And coming in at number 4, it was a strong month for this issue. We got the same one, but this is an 8.5 copy, sold for a little bit higher, sold for $3,000 on Heritage. So the previous one sold for $2,800 on Golden as an 8.0, but this one coming in at number 4 sold for $3,000 on Heritage as an 8.5. Golden has been trying to give Heritage a run for their money lately on selling these high-end CGC Sports Illustrated mags. Heritage kind of had a monopoly on that for quite a while, but Golden has been coming in really strong the past few months. We'll see if that trend continues. Once again, there have been 66 newsstand copies of this one graded. At the 8.5 level, it's a Pop 12 with only 16 copies graded higher. And coming in at number 3, this is a strong result for our classic issue number 1 from Sports Illustrated 1954. It's Hall of Famer Eddie Matthews on the cover, and this is a CGC 9.8. You can see from the pop reports, this is one of the most commonly graded issues out there. In fact, it's the most frequently ever graded issue. There have been 922 copies of this Sports Illustrated issue graded, and there's 96 9.8s. I think that's now second most 9.8s. I think it got passed up by the Victor Wembanyama first cover. But yeah, first issue never had any subscription copies. That's because even all those copies that were mailed to the initial subscribers, they were sent in an envelope, so they didn't have the subscription label on the cover. So you will never see a subscription copy issue of this graded. They're all considered newsstands. That explains the high pop count of 922. The high pop count of 96 9.8s accounts for the fact that Sports Illustrated had saved a bunch of these in a warehouse and sold them decades later in mint condition as collector's items. So, this 9.8 sale going for $3,500 on eBay is pretty big deal. This issue used to sell routinely in the $7,000, $8,000 range. That was a few years back. It slowly started to dip down, dip down, dip down because the demand just didn't quite match the supply. Like I just showed you, there's a very large supply of this issue, even at the 9.8 level. Most recently, we've seen these drop down as low as $1,700, $1,800, and that's where they've been selling for quite a bit, but they've started ticking back up. I think that's due to an influx in interest in this hobby. There have been an increase in collectors coming in lately. A lot of that's due to the announcement that PSA is getting into the game. So these 9.8s of issue number 1 have started ticking back up a little bit. I've seen a couple above 2,000, and now this one's coming in hot at $3,500. Coming in at number 2, Michael Jordan. This is from 1992 on a collision course. Michael Jordan and his number 1 rival, Portland's Clyde Drexler, are primed for a playoff showdown. This is a CGC 9.8. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter what it is, but a 9.8 of Michael Jordan is going to carry some value. And of course, these Sports Illustrateds especially will have premium value. This one sold on Golden Auctions for $6,100. There have been 40 newsstand copies of this issue graded, and this is one of only 3 9.8s with none graded higher. And coming in at number 1 as the highest selling sports magazine from September 2024, again, we've got his airness, Michael Jordan. This is from 1991. It's the Air Power cover. Michael Jordan lifts the Bulls to a commanding lead over LA. He's about to throw it down over Vlade Divac right there with the Los Angeles Lakers. And this one went on Golden Auctions for $9,760. 67 newsstand copies have been graded of this issue, and this is one of only 2 9.8s with none graded higher. All right, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe to this channel. I also appreciate likes and comments, and until the next video, we'll see you next time.